Right guys, this does appear in your GCSE as well, and you do need to know this fact. And it's just academic discourse, you just need to understand how questions are formed. So, you have y equals half x minus 2, and you want it in this form. So, these are fractions here, so you want to multiply this out by obviously 2. So, if you multiply both sides by 2, you'll get 2y equals x minus 4. There's a good note here. That's just my advice for people. Now, can you see it's still not in this form that it's asking you? So you'll just have to minus x on both sides, and that would be your answer. That should be straightforward. So give that a go yourselves now, and I'm going to show you the answer. Perfect. So here we just multiplied both sides by 3. Then rearranged to get it into the form they've asked you. Right, here's a problem solving question. You can give it a go. And I'm going to show you the answer now. Now I'm going to show you the answer first and talk you through the answer, because this will be a bit easier for me. So first, you've got this line, 2x plus y equals 8. But you've got key points. If you want to find point A, what do you know here? We don't know the x coordinate, so we can write x, but we know the y coordinate, 0. So we substitute y equals 0 into here. So you'll get 2x equals 8, and you should know then x equals 4. That's how you get that first A coordinate. For the B coordinate, here you know x equals 0, and then y equals that B value. Or you can call that little b. So sub x equals 0 into this. Now you should be able to do this mentally. So when x equals 0, y must be 8. That's why you get this coordinate. Now, how do you know that therefore C is minus 2, 12? Well, you've got this ratio here, AB to BC. So now that we know that this is coordinate 4, 0, and this coordinate is 0, 8, we have that height as 8, that length of 4. Now you could use Pythagoras to find this length if they've asked you, but if that's going across by 4 and up by 8, but it's in a ratio of 2 to 1, so this length from B to C, let me change colour, is going to be half that based on the ratio. So that must mean that's going to go 2 this way, because that's a length of 4 here. And can you see that's going up 8 here, so we'll go up half because of the ratio of it. So that's 2, 4. So if you add, well, you're not adding 2 here, but you're minusing 2 because it's going to the left on the axis. And you have to add 4 to this because it's going up the axis. So that should make sense to you now. So you've got ED, EC to CD now. That ratio is 1 to 2. So if we have a look, DC is a straight line. But if you know the coordinate of C, which is minus 2, 12, now let's have a look at this part EC, or ED I mean, apologies. Now that you've got C is minus 2, 12, we can assume, because we know the coordinate of D is 0 because of where it is on the y-axis, right? Now this, I would argue, is probably a grade 8 at least question, grade 9. It will appear on the end of your GCSE paper. This is an AQA paper because you need to have a lot of thinking skills. So the ratio of EC to ED is 1 to 2. Can you see we don't know what E is, but what we do know about E is we know there's some x coordinate here, negative x coordinate, but we know the y coordinate is 0. So from here to here, that's going up by 12, and that's in a ratio of 1. That's one part. So up to D, that's one part. This is 2 parts. That must go up by 24. So we know that coordinate is 0, 36. Now, if we work backwards here, that's got a distance of 2. So we go backwards, we've got 2, and we're going to one part. So that must be going across 1 to make that minus 3, 0. I hope that makes sense. Is 0, 36 now. C is minus 2, 12. E is minus 3, 0. B is 0, 8. So let's do the area of AEC. So this is AEC. So area of the triangle is height times the base and then divided by 2, right? Or half times base times width, which is here. So if you look at, remember, what is the coordinate of A? And actually, I would say this is a grade 9 question just because of the thinking skills. It would appear at the end of your GCSE paper because this is in AQA further maths. So can you see if E is minus 3, 0, that length must be 3. That length must be 4. 3 add 4 is 7, which gives you that length. You know the C coordinate is 12, so the height of that triangle is 12, and that's how you'd get the area of AEC. Now, let's do the next part. We're doing BCD. C, sorry guys, D, right? Remember, height of the triangle is always the perpendicular height, so that's where the right angle is. So from here to here, because C, the x coordinate is minus 2 here, that length or height is 2, which is where this 2 comes from. And so from here to here, now 36 minus 8, because of the coordinate, will give you 28. So that is 28. And that's how we get the 28. So you find the area of this. Put this in the form of a ratio. Simplify it, which is divided by 14 on both sides. And then you get that answer. That should be quite easily done for you now. I would go back to the beginning of this video and give this question a go yourself, see if you can crack it. And it was so good if you can. I rate this grade 9. and this is really actually helps you with your A-level skills because of the amount of problem solving and understanding of coordinate geometry. Lots of visualization required. Right guys, just some more consolidation on your coordinate geometry skills at 5 to 8, but actually it's probably 6 to 8 because it involves perpendicular lines, and give those a go. I'm just going to explain these so you should know that's parallel because it's got the same gradient of 2. This is neither. Well, half, look at this gradient, half times minus 2 equals minus 1, so that's perpendicular. A line is parallel to 2x plus 3 and goes through this point. What is its equation? Well, you know you just got the same gradient because it's parallel. You substitute that in and then you should get that as your answer once you work out C. Right, question 3, if you know your perpendicular lines, I'm showing you this type of question just because if it's worded differently, people can be confused even though you've got the skills to do it. So all it's saying is line 1 goes through this point and you've got this equation L2, and I'll go through this one. So you know that m equals 2 in this case, and we call it m1, so m2 must equal minus a half. So you've got y equals minus a half x plus c. We sub in the coordinate to 5. So 5 equals 2 times minus a half is minus 1 plus c. I'm going to jump a step, plus 1 to both sides. So c here is going to equal 6. So that line must be y equals minus a half x plus 6. And that's a grade 8 question. You should be able to do the rest quite easily if you're at this stage and watching this lesson. Well done if you've got that. This is all grade 8 here. Right. Give those a go and then I'm just going to go through it a little bit. So, find the equation of the line which passes through B and is perpendicular to the line passing both through A and B. So first, find y equals mx plus c of those 2 points. So m is going to be 4 over 2, which equals 2. So y equals 2x plus c here. We need to find out what c is, so we just substitute any of the coordinates in. And I'll just use a, so that's 2 and 5. So 5 equals 4 plus c. So c equals 1 here. So we've got the line AB is y equals 2x plus 1. Right, so that's going to look something like that. And it says there's a 0.49. And I'm going to call that point A and that point B. And there's something going perpendicular to that. That's a right angle, and we want to find the equation of this line here. You know the perpendicular gradient because m1 equals 2, so m2 equals minus a half. So we get y equals minus a half x plus c. Be careful here, it goes through B, so we use the coordinate of B, which is 4, 9. So 9 equals minus 2 plus C, so C equals 11. So that equation is y equals minus a half x plus 11, and that's quite easily done. This line here, are the lines similar? Well, you just rearrange this into the form of y equals mx plus c. So I'd minus 3x on both sides, then divide by 2. Then find the gradient of this line and compare. It's just an extra step, guys. So they are perpendicular. Determine the equation of line L. Now, you have to realise that this point is what? The x coordinate is 0, right? Because it's on the y-axis. So let's sub that into this formula, because this line is this equation. So when x equals 0, y is 5, we know that is 5. Perfect. Now, what do we know? We know that these are perpendicular. So we've got m1 equals 3. So m2 must equal minus 1 over 3. So we've got y equals minus 1 over 3x plus c. But they've given us c here because we know that's 5. And that's plus 5. This is less working out, but can you see you have to have good thinking skills and understand to get that right. That will be at least grade 8. And nice work there.